And we back. Let's just get straight into it, man. Today I'll be talking about the Greenville County 5A region, and I'll be ranking them on what I predict the outcome will be in their region. Um, and first off, to start off their region, I believe T.L. Hanna will come out as region champs. This team has been playing really well all season. I believe they have a 14-4 record, looking like one of the top teams in 5A. They're led by senior Jaquarius Patterson, Javian Martin at the point guard position, Zay Williams, who can also score at the guard position, Lucas Wiersma as their big man, Alcy Cooler as their other guard, Tanner Epps as their sharpshooter, and Cooper Cameron as their other guard who comes off the bench for them. This team is just one of the really deepest teams in the area. They did lose to Burns last night, but they lost in a tough fought game, and it took Will Fowler to drop 40 points in order for them to will them away. But this team does not stop playing. They won a few tournaments, I believe, this year already, and I think they should win this region in pretty dominant fashion, honestly. And then as the second seed, I believe this one was a tough one, man. The rest of these teams it was pretty tough. I'm not gonna lie, but I had to put Woodmont as the second seed in their region. Led by point guard Dre Huff, can really score the ball in any way. Drake Stewart, who also plays guard for them, can get downhill and create for others. Kamari Spurgeon is their sharpshooter. Charlie Streetman as their what I'd say undersized big man, but plays with a lot of heart. Keyshawn McCoy, who I haven't got to see play with them yet, but another skilled guard for them that can really hoop. And lastly, Trey Broughton, who's their hustle guy, also plays a relatively hybrid big position and just hustles for them. And I believe this team will finish second. They play with a lot of heart. They're on a little run right now, 10-6. I believe they were like 6-6. So I think they made a little run at the moment, and they're playing really good. So they did just win in an overtime game against Greenwood last night. So being able to play in late game situations, I feel like they might need that because these games are going to be close, I believe. Now moving to the third seed. This one, once again, very tough to predict. But I think J.O. Mann can get it. They've been playing a little bit better recently. I know they did just lose to Boiling Springs earlier this week, but it took Landon Sprouse to drop 38 in order for them to beat him. So, I think they can get that third seed led by point guard Jeremy Cook, who's been playing really well for them. J.R. Peterson as well, one of the other main guys for them. And now I have to mention a lot of role guys they have. Deontez Walker as their big man. Andrew Scales as another undersized big man who has a lot of energy. Nikolai Williams, who's also a guard for them, 2 guard, 1 guard when Jeremy's out. Sam Dorr as their shooter. Thomas Davidson as their, hybrid, takes charges, really just an energy guy for them. And then Zachary Sullivan as their backup guard as well. These guys, I feel like all as a collection, if they're playing their best basketball, can finish as a third seed. I don't know if they have as many strong players as like Woodmont Teohana does, but their role players I think will be essential in how they do as a team and region. Moving to the fourth seed, this one, I believe it's going to be Malden, but I think Malden, they could go for that third seed as well. I know Jailman beat them earlier this year though, and Malden was missing their head coach, I heard, but nonetheless, Jailman's going to remember that, and I think that's going to, maybe help them in the long run. And Malden is a solid team, though, led by shooting guard Braden Hirschberger. Really good score for them for the past 2 seasons. Owen Stewart has made an emergence this year. Nathan Wilborn being their sophomore guard, one of the other main scorers for them. Alvarez Smith, energy guy, undersized big, I feel like, but he's been getting going. He actually got a tournament in the Poinsettia Classic, along with senior guard Jordan Sullivan, another vet. I believe this is 3rd season playing with the varsity team, so he knows the ropes. And then alongside point guard Jay Shaw, who finds his teammates and just gets everyone involved. Relatively young team, but I think they can make a push, and there's no doubt that they should make the playoffs this season. I think it'll be very disappointing if they don't. I know they finished as the 5th seed last year, but there should be no reason they honestly shouldn't finish in either top 3 or top 4 in their region. And finally, I have Hillcrest as the 5th seed. They've been having a little rough season this year, having trouble finishing some games in close situations. And, I kind of saw this coming. They don't have too much firepower. Last year they had guys like Izzy Hall, Chavis Lee Carter. They had dudes that all can really hoop. This year, led by sophomore Caden Coleman, who can really go for them, but they need a little bit more, I think, out of sometimes him and sometimes out of their role players being guys like Cameron Pulley, Trey Clint Scales. I believe has been a really nice addition from what he used to go to Legacy Early College and is only a sophomore. Really like his game. CJ Durham, another sophomore transfer, plays with a lot of energy. Houston Long, another transfer from Greenville High School, very undersized. He shouldn't be playing big, but plays big for them, so has to guard most other teams' biggest player, can shoot the ball pretty solid. And lastly, Jacob Bennon, just an energy role guy that knows the game and would be a vet on the team at this point. So it also once again depends on how they all play together. If they're moving that rock, can they get some chemistry going? Excited to see how they do. They did win by a good amount in their last game at the Poinsettia Classic, so hopefully they put it together a little bit more. And excited to see how this region does. I will be covering them throughout the entire region play. But nonetheless, best of luck to all these teams. With all that being said, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.